Hey, y'all, you listen to the Gary Owen podcast. Hashtag Get Some.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. You can listen to this on iTunes. Go to iTunes. Just search for Gary Owen, hashtag Get Some, or go to my YouTube page, youtube.com/Gary Owen Com. This is my first podcast at the new crib. I moved to Northern California from Cincinnati, and we're in what you call an in-law suite right now. Here's the thing about California. I build this house from the ground up, and it's a gated community. There's 82 homes in this community, and all the homes look a little similar. They're nice. Basically the same price as my house in Ohio, half the size. But I don't have to worry about salt on the driveway, winter coats. Don't have to worry about getting de-iced. So it's a trade-off. You basically are paying for the weather out here. And then as soon as we get out here, there's the wildfires. Great. I wasn't planning on that, breathing out of a chimney for the first 2 weeks I was here. But so I get here, and I remember my wife came out as we was getting the house built, and she goes, "Yo, I'm out here getting all the extras for the house." So we spent quite a bit of money on extras. I got if you ever go to my Instagram story or things like that, I got a built-in coffee maker, which is a godsend for coffee drinkers. It's basically, I have my own little Starbucks in the crib, and like crown molding and little extras around the house that she got. Well, you know what they don't do? They don't give you grass in the backyard. So my front yard looks amazing, but my backyard, every morning I wake up, fucking Iraq. Is what it looks like. It is dirt, and I have this fence that raises up, so it's half cement blocks, and then it's like a gate, like metal rods. Obviously, it looks good. It's gonna look great when the backyard's done. But I can't believe they don't even put fucking grass in your backyard. I thought there'd be seed and grass, like every other house I've bought. Well, let me take that back. The only other house I've gotten that we built was in Ohio, and it was like 12 years ago. When we bought the house, they put hay down and the grass seed, and the grass ended up growing. I'm dumbfounded that they don't even do that. I was like, whoa. So I got this. My big thing was I gave up my man cave in Ohio. And when we come here to California, they got indoor living areas. So our living room, the glass just kind of slides open, and it just becomes like this big area where it's completely covered. But when the backyard eventually gets done, we'll have couches and my own TV and a fireplace. That's where I'm gonna hang out in the summer. But now it's so much dirt being blown around, we can't do anything with it right now. I mean, it's gonna be amazing when it's done, but right now I'm like, every morning I wake up, I'm like, it's like we're in a war-torn country that got blown up by shit. When I tell you that there's so many bunny rabbits in this neighborhood, the rabbits don't even go back there. Nah. Now, every now and then you'll see a hawk. Now, I did see something cool. First week I was here, I woke up, there was a hawk sitting on my backyard fence, just sitting there. And I was like, is that a fucking hawk? And then the hawk just like looks around. And I think hawks know they basically the baddest bird out there. Because this mug just looked around, went, shoo, came up, wings spread out, start flapping real slow. Then it just started circling. That son of a bitch swooped down and grabbed the bunny. And I was like, no way. Like the claw just hit in. And I went, it was one of those moments I wish I would have had my phone out, but I didn't. So I couldn't get it on tape. But he grabbed the bunny and just took off. And I was like, that poor fucking bunny. That bunny was probably hopping around. It was a great day, looking for a carrot, something to eat. And all of a sudden, your life's gone. What a terrible way to die. Because what's going through a bunny's mind when you're just hopping around and you're in a great suburban neighborhood in Northern California? You're like, great, my life's good. And then a hawk grabs you. So it's like somebody just gnawing into your back and you're flying away to your death. So now the bunny, it must be if I was to go skydiving and the parachute doesn't open. But I'm on a tandem dive. So now the guy behind me is holding on to my back, knowing the chute ain't open. We're just going to our death. But at least when we land, it's over. This bunny's going to be probably eaten alive. I mean, I was like, what a terrible way to go out. But the hawk just came in, and I was just like, I wish I would have videotaped it, but I didn't have my camera out. And I hope my son doesn't see this, because we have a little dog, and my son Austin is already like the overprotective dad of this dog. And now he won't let the dog go outside. If I ever told him this hawk story, which he might see on my podcast, my dog will never be out by itself in the backyard. But the backyard's going to be amazing when we finish it. But right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, and if you're listening to it on iTunes, I suggest you go to the YouTube page to watch it. We're in the in-law suite kitchen. So this is not our kitchen. The cool thing about these houses the house that we built, we have what you call an in-law suite. So it has, if you ever come to visit and stay at my house, which 99% of you won't, but it's got a bedroom. It's got this beautiful like living area. It's like its own apartment with a full kitchen, as you can see, that probably nobody's ever really going to use. But my wife, I said she missed her calling as an interior decorator, because she knows how to see things, and she puts the right color schemes together and the right couches, and she just knows what she's doing. I just back off. I just be like, how much is it? And I'll approve it or disapprove it. But I told her, I said, we're not allowed to get the backyard done until we sell our house in Ohio, which going into the holidays, we probably won't sell it till I bet March or April. But when we do sell it, then we'll have, we'll make money off of it, and then we can get the backyard, because the backyard isn't going to be cheap, especially when you're dealing with dirt. But we had it was cool, because if you go to my Instagram page, which is Instagram.com/Gary Owen Comedy, that's my Twitter and my Instagram. I took a video and I spliced together a highlight of Thanksgiving. This is the first Thanksgiving we had with the black side of the family. And my wife has always said her family's lit. She goes, yo, my family's so much fun. And I've been around her family at functions, but I never saw like the fun. They're always happy. But all of a sudden we're watching football, watched the first two games, and then everybody ate. And then her family brought liquor over. My family's beer drinkers. So we've always had Thanksgiving and Christmas at our house in Ohio. But my family just talks and we mingle, and nothing, might get a game of cards going, nothing crazy. All of a sudden, we got a sound system built in the house. Somebody turn off the TV, Bluetooth their phone into our speakers, and all of a sudden they had made a playlist for Thanksgiving. Next thing I know, we got the cha-cha slide. We got the electric slide. We got some Chris Brown moves going on. The old ladies got up dancing. We put on some Marvin Gaye and the Temptations and stuff. It was so lit. And her family, first it was the old ladies dancing, the grandmothers, and then the young kids started dancing. Then everybody was dancing. Pretty soon we had a Soul Train at one point. We had electric slide. I was like, I didn't see it, but now I get it. It was they brought a big gallon of Kettle One. There was beer, there was wine, there was mixers, there was some whiskey, there was some dark liquor being passed around. It was just lit, man. It was a ball. And then we had one kid, badass kid though. I'm not gonna say which cousin and which kid it was, but this kid was out of control. At one point, I just got my plate of food. He walked by and he smacked my plate. And I swear to God, if I didn't see it coming, and I was coming at him like, hey, what's up? And he slapped my plate. If my food would have flew off in the brand new house and hit that carpet, oh, motherfucker. There might have been a child abuse case. Because I was like, my wife already knows, like, I don't get mad about too many things, but I'm kind of anal when it comes to my home. Because if you're going to put a stain, let me put the stain. If there's going to be a scrape in the house, let me put a scrape. This one kid left a mark on the wall, and then he chucked a Capri Sun at one point, just a full Capri Sun across the room. And I think for some reason, we had a box of Twixes in the house. I don't know if it's from Halloween or what, but it was a full box of big Twix. So it was like 40 Twix bars. He ate 3 of them within an hour. And then I was putting them up, and he came by and grabbed 2 more. And I was like, okay, this kid's out of control. I want to say it was the sugar, but I don't know. Then the sugar rush came. Then we laid him down on the couch. Big ass drool stain on the couch. I mean, wherever he went, he left his mark. Now, granted, okay, it's family and friends. Granted, they're allowed to come over next year, but we'll be prepared next year. There will be no sugar in the house. The sugar is going to have to be like kept away from the kids, and then we bring it to them. Because when he crashed, he died. He might still be asleep. But I had not had that much fun on Thanksgiving. And my wife always says, she goes, get ready, my family's lit. I didn't believe it until they came over. I was like, damn, they made my white side look so boring. I'm sorry. So boring. You know, it turned into Club Owen. It's what it turned into. And it was just fun. It was fun. So we're debating whether to have Christmas because of the one kid. The one kid is dictating, like, do we have Christmas? And then he comes over. But it's just being a kid, out of control. I'm sure I was a little hellion at that point. Maybe not. I don't think I was that bad. But so that got Thanksgiving going. And then I read and I see Ohio's, like Cincinnati especially, is in like a snowstorm and freezing rain. And then it made me appreciate where I live a little bit. First, I was like, the house is a lot smaller, and I got a GPS everywhere I'm going, and I knew where to go in Cincinnati. I knew if I wanted to go to cryo. I knew if I wanted a massage. I knew if I wanted to go to a boxing gym or a regular gym, or I had a trainer in Cincinnati. And here I'm still trying to figure everything out. I knew all the good restaurants, especially the healthy ones. I'm still trying to figure out the healthy ones. If you're listening to my podcast, give me some suggestions. And I don't want the chain restaurants. I don't want Olive Garden and BJ's and In-N-Out. I know that shit. I can find that shit no problem. Like in Cincinnati, I always went to a place called Sleepy Bee. I had the Mexican spot I always posted about. That was a good spot. I knew the good steakhouses, the Jeff Ruby's, the Precincts, the Primes. I knew all this. There was a place called Conscious Kitchen. So dope. I knew the healthy spots, and then I knew where just good food was that was locally owned and operated. I haven't found that yet. I'm not going to give away my address, but we're in like the Pittsburgh, Antioch, Brentwood area, Oakley. We're in that area. So if anybody listens to my podcast and you want to make a comment on YouTube or iTunes, or just send me a message on Instagram or Twitter, let me know where the spots are. If you're a deep tissue masseuse, let me know. Now, I got to admit, I called a couple buddies of mine to play for the Raiders, so they're supposed to get back to me on a deep tissue masseuse, because when Heavy D passed away, it hit me like, whoa, I'm over 40. When I found out it was like a blood clot that went from his leg to his lungs, and that's how he passed away, I said, oh, I fly a lot, so I'm always in weird positions. So I've always like once a month I get a deep tissue massage, and sometimes they hurt. I ain't gonna lie, but I feel amazing afterwards. But I don't know where to go out here. I'm talking about a reputable one. I don't want to go to like a run of the mill spa. I want to go to somebody that does this for a living. I did one in Cincinnati one time. I got a deep tissue, and I went to a Lifetime Fitness, and I told the girl, I said, I want to get deep tissue. And the girl at the front desk is like, oh, we have like Stephanie and Rick. And she goes, Stephanie's not available today. Do you want Rick? I said, no, I don't want no dude. It's not like I think it's an Asian massage. And I know it's not going to be a happy ending. I don't want people to get the wrong impression. I just don't want a man's heavy ass hands all over me. I don't know what it is. I just can't do it. But the girl convinced me. She was like, no, this guy's good. And I know what you're thinking, but most guys, when they go to him, they come back because he gets into those deep areas, right? Dude, this dude beat my fucking back up. Like, it hurt. Like, I was sweating profuse. It's one thing to have a little sweat, like, you got a knot. I get it. Dude, when I woke up the next day, it looked like I was in the movie Creed. Like, somebody just beat the shit out of my back. It was so many bruises. I was like, yo, I knew it didn't feel right. I knew it didn't. It's one thing to have a deep tissue massage, like they're getting in the knots. This just hurt. Like, it was painful. And the lady said on the way out, she goes, how was it? I go, fuck off. I paid him, and that's all I said. And then the dude kept coming up to me at the gym, be like, hey, you coming back? I go, I will never see you again, dude. Never. There's no reason you should be bruised like that. When I say bruised, it literally looked like somebody got behind me and just was paddling my back. There were so many bruises on my back, and my triceps was bruised. I was like, I knew it wasn't me. I knew it. And I've had some good deep tissue massages where it hurt, but it was like a good hurt. It shouldn't hurt. It should almost be just like aggravating. Like, oh, I just want this to end. When I was in Houston a couple weeks ago, I had some great deep tissue massage. I had this one girl who does a lot of the NBA guys out there. She came to my room and she had like what they call a scraper. It looked like this dull knife set. She whipped it out and I go, whoa, what the fuck's that? And she whipped out, there was all these metal instruments, but she would literally hit a knot and then she'd scrape it. And it's like weird. I could feel the knot spreading out in my back. And then she stretched me afterwards. She was amazing. That's one city. I went to Houston for a couple weeks. If I lived in Houston, I'd be tapped in so hard because they got this guy I work out with there. He's an amazing trainer, Leo Johnson. And then he got me with the meal prep lady. She was cooking food. I mean, I was paying for all this, but she was making food for me. It was B-Fit Foods. If you're in Houston and you want a meal prep, please go to just Google B-Fit Foods. That was some of the tastiest, healthiest food I ever had. And then I had the deep tissue masseuse. I was like, damn, Houston, I'm tapped in. But I don't know where to go now that I'm in the Bay. I'll travel to Oakland or San Francisco if it's worth it to get a good deep tissue or things of that nature. And good restaurants. I mean, I know Walnut Creek's not too far from me, but it's like 30 minutes. I always tell people I live near Walnut Creek. That way they're not scared to come see me. But a few people came to see me. They're like, dude, you're nowhere near Walnut Creek. You're like 30 minutes. I go, it's kind of close in retrospect. I moved here from Cincinnati. Cincinnati's 35 hours. Walnut Creek's 30 minutes. So in retrospect, it isn't that far. So yeah, if you're listening to this, if you know any good restaurants, give me some suggestions. I am gluten-free, and I don't want fried food. So those are two things. No, I don't want sugar, fried, or gluten. So any restaurants that eliminate a lot of food, I understand. But if anybody got any suggestions, let me know. So that's been my first couple weeks out here in the Bay. And the last couple of podcasts, I took off Thanksgiving, obviously, because it was Thanksgiving. And but my last couple, I pre-taped them. So I haven't been up with the current events. Since my last podcast, the Bengals have completely fucking fallen apart. Completely. Andy Dalton's out. His thumb's broke. And Jeff Driscoll's coming in. And the one thing about Jeff Driscoll, he was like a 6th-round pick. Who else was a 6th-round pick? Tom Brady. He's a white dude that nobody sees coming. Now the difference between Jeff Driscoll and Andy Dalton, Jeff Driscoll right now, according to his 40 time, he's the second fastest quarterback in the NFL, behind obviously Lamar Jackson from the Ravens. So if he's ever going to do anything, it's this week against the Broncos because they don't have tape on him. Nobody's got video of him really playing. So you don't know what to expect. So you completely can. The Broncos don't know what's coming at him from the quarterback position. I think we should have a lot of rollouts and don't use him like Baltimore using Lamar Jackson, but use him up, man. If he can run, let him run because you're not looking at him to be your long-term replacement. So, and AJ Green's coming back, and I love it how Andy Dalton gets hurt. The Bengals are still in the playoff hunt. I mean, they're right in the middle of it. If you want to be honest, because they're 5-6, but you got Baltimore 6-5 in the 6th seed. It's a game difference. Here's the thing: the Bengals still control their own destiny. They don't need no help. They went out; they're going to be in. 10-6 is going to get you in the playoffs. Might get you a division title. If you see the Steelers schedule, holy fuck, that's a tough schedule. Bengals got it way easier. And there's a difference between 5 and 6 teams. Broncos come in at 5-6, feeling good about life. I mean, they just beat the Steelers. They beat the Chargers, 2 teams they weren't supposed to beat. And granted, Melvin Gordon's hurt, but they're coming into Cincy with a completely different 5-6 mind frame. Bengals are 5-6, and it feels like our season's falling apart. But the NFL, the beauty of it is, in 1 week, all that shit can change. If you looked at the Broncos 2 weeks ago, you would have said they don't stand a chance. Their season's falling apart. They're getting ready for a draft pick. Their coach is getting ready to get fired. They got nothing to play for. All of a sudden, they beat the Chargers. Then they beat the Steelers. Now, they're 5-6. Feels completely different than Bengals. Bengals are 5-3. We've gotten smacked around by, oh my God, the New Orleans basically got our defensive coordinator fired. And then we played decent against the Ravens in Baltimore. And then Cleveland came up and smacked us around. We lost to 2 rookie quarterbacks. Our defense, let me just run. I don't want people to come to my podcast thinking I'm a stat guy, but this is staggering. Our defense has given up 347 points in 11 games. That's 30 points a game, damn near, we're giving up. We are dead last in scoring. The next closest team to us is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 338, and then the Oakland Raiders, 327. We've given up more points than anybody in the NFL. But here's the thing. Dalton gets hurt. AJ Green is coming back this week. And a lot of people said, well, you should just have AJ sit since Dalton's out. Are you crazy? I was like, he's the one guy that changes the whole offense. And I mean, you pay people to play. If you're not hurt, you play. I don't get the mentality just sit him for next year. That's crazy talk. There's been so many teams, and not saying this is going to happen this year with the Bengals, who have barely gotten into the playoffs and then just go on a run for whatever reason. Look at Philly last year. Their backup quarterback led them to the playoffs and the Super Bowl. You know, Tom Brady was a backup, led them to the Super Bowl. Didn't see it coming. Jeff Hostetler was a backup with the Giants. Phil Simms got hurt, leads them to the play. I mean, been time after time. Not saying it's going to happen this year, unless something happens with that defense that, I don't know, they just change the schemes. But our offense is still a decent offense. It's just an average NFL offense, if we're just being honest, right now. But, you know, I know Joe Mixon's mentality by knowing Joe. I'm not best friends with Joe, but I know him. I know he wants the ball. What I don't get is how they're 3-0 when Joe Mixon gets 20 carries a game and they don't give him the ball 20 times. My first 20 plays would be give it to Joe. Until that stat goes away, just give it to Joe. When the Bengals scored 25 points and like Marvin Lewis, Andy Dalton era, their record is ridiculous. It's literally like 28-2, some shit. So 25 points is the magic number. Look at all the games they lost this year. Let's look. They lost to the Panthers. They scored 21. They lost to the Steelers. They scored 21. They lost to the Chiefs. They scored 10. They lost to the Saints. They scored 14. They lost to the Ravens. They scored 21. They lost to the Browns. They scored 20. They don't score 25. They don't win. Not 28. Not 24. 25 points is the magic number for that team to score. So you got 25 points and Joe Mixon getting 20 carries. Those are two things. We do that, we win. My first 20 plays would be Joe Mixon. It would get to the point where by the 14th carry, people be like, there's no fucking way. There's no way they're giving it to Joe again. Oh, shit, they gave it to him again. You can find ways to get a ball, sweep right, sweep left, 3-hole, 2-hole, 1-hole, 8-hole, 9-hole. There's different holes you can run them through. That sounded bad. But, I mean, the writing's on the wall. What they got to do to win. And the other big thing was Hugh Jackson gets fired by Cleveland, comes to Cincy, hasn't really seen dividends yet. But Baker Mayfield comes here, and then he says, he's a traitor. Basically, he went from Cleveland to Cincinnati, and then he said, the thing about it was the reason I like Baker Mayfield, he gives you an honest answer. Too many times we got people like, we play hard, we're just looking for the next game. Baker was like, no, I don't really like him. Well, I don't agree with his comments, but I love his comments. I don't agree with what he said. I like Hugh. I think Hugh's a decent coach. I don't know about a head coach, but he definitely has a place in the NFL. Guys either love him or clearly they hate him. This has been the first time I've seen somebody come out and say they don't like Hugh Jackson. Most of the guys in Cincinnati, they loved Hugh. They loved him when they played for him. To the point where that's who a lot of people in Cincinnati want to replace Marvin Lewis. I don't know about anymore, but we'll see how the last 5 weeks play out. But most of the guys in Cincinnati, from Ocho Cinco to Hushmanzada to anybody, Andy Dalton, all of them, they always say they liked you. There's a reason he's back in Cincy. That's where he always flourished. He didn't flourish with the Raiders. He didn't flourish anywhere else. He's always flourished in Cincy. So we'll see what happens. It's just really frustrating being a a Cincinnati fan, knowing some of the talent we got. Think about what we got on defense and offense right now. We got A.J. Green, so we definitely have a Hall of Fame wide receiver in his prime on the team right now. We got Joe Mixon, who, give him the ball, he's going to be 1,000 yards. He'll get you 1,000 yards a season for the next 5 years. Just got to give him the ball. Right now, he's got 673 yards, and he's missed 2 games. That's in 9 games. So he's on pace to get 1,000 yards this year, and he's missing 2 games. And he's not getting 20 carries a game. Tyler Boyd has really stepped up. Do I think Tyler Boyd's a number 1 receiver? No. But I think he's probably one of the best number 2 receivers in the NFL. I think if he almost is, to me, Tyler Boyd is like when Sanu and Marvin Jones left. Sanu went from a number 2 to another number 2 when he left. When he left Cincy and went to Atlanta to play with Julio Jones. That was all about money. But I think Tyler Boyd, he's just a dog. He goes up and gets it. He's definitely not an A.J. Green. You don't have to game plan around Tyler Boyd. But at one-on-one coverage, I love Tyler Boyd against anybody. I love Tyler Boyd against any number 2 cornerback in the NFL. I'll take Tyler Boyd every day of the week. But he doesn't have, I don't know what it is, but A.J. Green's one of them. You got to rotate the entire defense towards A.J. Know where he's at on the field. Tyler isn't that, but man, I don't want to lose him, man. I think him and A.J., that's the thing. Think about A.J. Green, Tyler Boyd, and Joe Mixon. Man, that's 3 studs right there. And our offensive line, Cedric Ogbuehi, he's number 70 on the Bengals. I wish he would just retire or just, I don't know, get a hangnail. I don't know what he's got to do to get off the team. Do a Michael Sam, say you're gay, even if you're not. Just do that. Just please stop playing. He gets in there last week. Oh my God. He in basketball, he's self-check. That guy fucking sucks. And I'm pretty diplomatic when it comes to Cincy. I always look for that glass half full. And the bad part is sometimes I run into these guys and I don't want to badmouth them. Like, hey, man, you badmouth me. Oh, boy, I don't even give a shit anymore. He's so bad. He's so fucking bad. My problem with the boy is you're getting people hurt. Like you're getting people fucked up. Your quarterback, your running backs, everybody. Because you're just not good. I don't know if you don't care. I don't know if the game's too fast for you. You just suck. And the only reason you're still in the league is because you was a first-round pick. And the fact that you haven't suited up half the games and now the offensive line got beat up, you got him. Fucking the fact that Joe Mixon has as many yards as he has behind our line is amazing in itself. I can't imagine Joe Mixon with behind the Pittsburgh Steelers line or Dallas Cowboy offensive line or even Baltimore Ravens offensive line. I can't imagine what he'd be doing right now. Guy's a goddamn stud. And Billy Miller history is going to be rewritten because of him, depending on how the rest of this season goes. Because Billy Miller shotguns it over Andy Dalton's head. Andy Dalton goes, I knew it. I was listening to it on the radio, and I heard that they go, oh, the ball goes over Andy Dalton's head. And I go, oh, shit, Pittsburgh Steelers again. When Andy threw that pick, and then he broke his thumb. And then as soon as I heard the ball go over his head and there was a scramble for the ball, I said, if Andy's in that scramble, a lineman's going to land on him. And that's exactly what happened. It was like broken thumb. He's out for the rest of the year. And I was like, so Billy Miller snap. And by the way, Billy Miller had a terrible fucking game up to that point. But now we'll see what happens with the rest of the season. It's going to dictate a lot because we got to see if Driscoll's going to come in and ball out. And can you imagine if he does? If he does come in and ball out and we got a little quarterback controversy going on? Because, this week it's a mulligan. You don't know what's going to happen. It's the next couple weeks when guys get film on Jeff Driscoll and see his tendencies as to what's going to happen. If there's ever a case, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, for Cincinnati to run the ball more, it's now. Because you got a quarterback that's never really played, and you got a running back that wants the ball. I feel like I'm on the Joe Mixon bandwagon this week. But god damn, man. Writing's on the wall. And that's the thing, he wants the ball. This is what's mind-boggling to me. And I'm sorry I'm spending 9% of this podcast on the Bengals, but I haven't been able to talk about them for 3 weeks because we pre-taped it. Mixon seems like he gets off. He's running the ball. We're the offense is clicking. And then they bring in Bernard. I'm like, dude, I love Gio. Don't get it twisted. But if shit's working, you don't pull the fucker. You know? It's almost like the Warriors. When Golden State Warriors play, who's ever hot gets the ball. And then when it's not, then they go somewhere else. But if Steph Curry's on fire, they keep feeding Steph. If Klay Thompson on fire, they keep feeding Klay. Durant, same thing. Bengals, hey, everything's going. We're driving down the field. Let's take out Mixon. I don't understand that at all. At fucking all. So okay, that's my tangent on the team itself. Let me give a tangent on the front office. I have had the biggest love-hate relationship with them this season, and the hate level has never been higher right now. I called them they called me before the season started. I did an Instagram post, and I've posted about it before how that Steeler game is still dumbfounding me that my publicist sent an email and they said, game's too popular. And then I looked up in the stands, there was like 7,000 empty seats and they couldn't leave tickets. So I call him and I say, I got Will Packer coming in town. My publicist called. One of the most powerful producers in Hollywood is coming to Cincy to see the Buccaneers play the Bengals. So I tell them this. I said, I want to make sure we take care of him when he comes in town. It's basically the equivalent. If you don't know who Will Packer is, his last movie, Night School, just went over 100 million. I've done 3 movies with him. Ride Along, Think Like a Man 1 and 2. He did Straight Outta Compton. He did Girls Trip. I mean, the guy, more than anything, he's the reason Tiffany Haddish and Kevin Hart is where they are film-wise. He's coming in town. He's from Tampa. He's a Buccaneers fan. He wants to come. I tell the front office this. So in my mind, you're taking extra good care of that guy. That guy. How many A-list Hollywood producers are coming to a Bengals game? I don't know any, honestly. They left us row 30 tickets. I'm just going to let that sit for a minute. One of the most powerful men in Hollywood is coming. I'm coming. I'm bringing him. I want to show him my city. I want to show how we take care of people. Front office left him row 30 tickets, seats. Nothing extra. I mean, they did leave us field passes. Thank you for that. Row 30? That's how you take care of one of the most powerful people in LA? You want guys like that at your game. I mean, I was embarrassed. When I saw the tickets. I was like, there's no fucking way. Row 30? I was like, they should have had him club level, in a suite, or front row. Was the only things I could think of. I was dumbfounded. So, again, that's what our front office does, though. That's why Marvin Lewis is still there. And I don't think Marvin Lewis is a bad guy, and I think he's a good coach. I just think his time has ran its course in Cincinnati. And it's time for him to move on and us to move on. How do you not look at Philadelphia and the Rams? Let's just take those 2 teams in the last couple of years. The Rams, I mean, they bring in a new coach. He's young. He's vibrant. And the guys want to play for him. Changes the whole dynamic of the Rams team the last 2 years. Eagles bring in a new coach. They win the Super Bowl. Just changed the whole, I mean, from Chip Kelly, they come out of Chip Kelly and they go to the new coach, and I'm like, they go to the Super Bowl and guys want to play for him. And, Philly right now is 5-6, but they're coming off the Super Bowl run. When any teams like that, like Philly and Jacksonville last year, when winning is contagious and guys start to believe you can win, and for some reason, I don't know what it is with karma and the way the ball bounces, things just start going your way. And that's what happens. And with Jacksonville last year and Philly, things were just going their way. Everything was bouncing right. The ball's bouncing right. When it just happens. Same thing with losing. It happens when you're losing too. And that's what happens this year with Jacksonville. They keep losing all these close games, and things just start to fall apart. Philly is 5-6. They're still in the mix for a playoff run. They could easily win their last 5 games and go on a run. But it was all the, new coaches come in with the Rams and Eagles. I don't know how Cincinnati doesn't see that and be like, look, let's just bring in a new coach. Not within the organization. Get somebody that has no ties to Cincinnati. Just bring in fresh, I don't know, fresh thought, just everything. What's the downside? We don't go to the playoffs and don't win. We haven't done that in the last 2 years. We haven't won a playoff game since 90. Holy shit. I was a virgin last time the Bengals won a playoff game. That tells you all you need to know. I didn't know what pussy felt like. I had no idea what a nice, sweet, wet pussy felt like. I had no clue. None. I was jacking off, and I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I had a disease. I was like, why does my dick do this? I had no clue. That's the last time the Bengals won a playoff game. That put it in perspective for me right there. So what's the worst case? And we had a chance last year to turn. We had it. We won those last 2 games, and I went, God damn it. We were 5-9. And then I went, Marvin's got to go. And then we beat Baltimore. And won the last 2 games. I went, there's no way. And then 7-9 they brought Marvin back, and here we are. I don't know. Just I'm still going to watch them. I get text messages from my dad every week during the game. Fuck this shit. I'm done. I'm not watching the Bengals again. Bullshit. My dad watches them things, and just like I am, I'm going to watch and listen every week. I don't care. I don't care if they're 0-15. I'm still going to watch. That's just, it's in my DNA. It's in my blood. And I just think the city and our fan base deserves better than what we've been getting. I think the players deserve better. I mean, God damn, man. I don't know. It's like that thing. What is it? Insanity. Insanity is keep doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. It is what it is. I mean, I would love to see Marvin succeed anywhere else because, believe me, we're a lot better off now than when we were before Marvin got here. I mean, the Dave Shula, Bruce Coslett, Dick LeBeau days, man, that was some thin times to be a Bengals fan. Now, I mean, I don't know. We're better than we were, but still, fuck. And our front office, guys, if anybody needs to take a course in PR 101, it's our front office. It's a goddamn shame. Now, let's go on another side. I went to New Orleans a couple weeks ago. I know I was there the week before Thanksgiving. I was in New Orleans at Sanger Theater. Shout out to everybody that came out. My buddy Daryl Chill Mitchell came to the show. Roxy Diaz, my girl from way back, came out. It was just a fun weekend. And shout out to my guy Charles Bird, who's one of the strength coaches with the Saints. He left me tickets and field passes, and I'm so glad my buddy Brandon Marshall, I feel like I just name dropped the shit out of that show. Brandon Marshall got picked up by the Saints. I went to a New Orleans game. I ain't been to a stadium like that in my life. That was a goddamn party. It was from the music they was playing to just the way the fans was partying. It's that, man, that was fun. I almost became a Saints fan. And then, you got the who they, who that competition. I damn near became a Saints fan. I almost left Cincy. That's how lit that stadium was. And they love their hometown music, man. With the Lil Wayne's playing and the Hot Boys, and then you got the New Orleans sound and all itself. I don't know, what do you call it? Everybody knows what it is. It's the I don't know what song that is. When that beat comes on, it's usually at all the HBCUs. I mean, I put on my Instagram, I went up and saw this dude that was dancing, so I sat next to him and videotaped him. Man, it's a white dude dancing to every song. Everybody get your roll on. Everybody get your roll on. I was like, dude, we don't ever hear that shit in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got the worst theme music. Cincinnati Bengals. That's the team we're gonna cheer to victory. Touchdown Bengals. Cincinnati. Fucking awful. We really got to update our music selection, please. Even if we put some hard rock on, I don't care. You go to Pittsburgh, they play that Hangman song. Oh, mama, I'm in fear for. Man, that song gets the whole crowd fucking pumped and towels get going. Again, Our front office needs a PR 101. You should embrace those people that want to root for you, but you guys like to push everybody away. Our fan base deserves better. They do. Speaking of, now that I'm in okay, that's enough on my football rant. Sorry about that. Speaking of going from football to basketball, I moved here to the Bay. I'm excited because I'm in Golden State. I get to watch all the Golden State games. Well, they've been sucking since I get out here. Draymond Green and Kevin Durant. You got to know this was coming, though. Between Draymond Green and Kevin Durant is, man, top 3 NBA players, but he's sensitive. Everybody knows he's sensitive. If he saw his podcast, now, Grant, I didn't say it's a bad thing being sensitive. I just said Kevin Durant's sensitive. He might send me a tweet. Who the fuck you call sensitive? But you got Draymond Green, who I think is a good player. He's not a great NBA player. I think he got put in a perfect situation for the type of player he is. He's not being relied on to be the number one scorer. He's not being relied on to carry the team, but he gets to do all the dirty work, but he still gets his shots. He's perfect. Perfect role for that type of player is Golden State. The stars just aligned. He got put in the perfect situation. Then you got Kevin Durant, who no matter what team he's on, he's not like LeBron, where LeBron goes to a team and automatically there's odds if they'll make the NBA Finals. But Durant on any team is a playoff team, and directly because of him as the number one scorer and number one player on that team. So Draymond, last week gets the ball, dribbles down the court. Durant's like, pass it all. Draymond doesn't pass it to him. Also, they have words on the bench. And what the rumor was Green said to Durant, motherfucker, we was winning before you. We going to win if you here or not. That's basically us against Durant. He basically threw everybody under the bus. We was here before you. But, okay, with Green, what I don't like about that, you could say that to your head coach. You could have said that to Steve Kerr. Motherfucker, we was here before you. You didn't win no titles for Steve Kerr. But that team was put together before Steve Kerr got there, with the exception of Durant. Now, Durant's like, bitch, I'm the leading scorer in this team, motherfucker. So I think you see who the real MVP of that team is Steph Curry. Because he's not in, and the ball movement isn't the same. Guys are arguing. Curry seems to just have that ability to just like float over all that shit. All the drama, all the shit talking. He just he coasts above it. Even with his wife, when she gets in Twitter beefs with people, Steph has a way of just, it's whatever, man. And, I'm just playing ball and having a good time. But, who do you take? Because I think what Draymond's thing is, we don't even know if you're going to be here next year with Durant. Well, if I'm Durant, if they win the title again, which 80% chance they will, it's hard to break things up if you can pay everybody. It's hard to split guys up like that. But I don't know how this is going to play out. And people keep forgetting they got DeMarcus Cousins just sitting there. Just like, hey, man, I'm just going to chill out to probably the All-Star break. And then I'll come in and play 10 minutes a game. And then come the playoffs, then I can go for 20 or 30 a couple games, and then I'll get all the money. So, the Warriors, it's funny how shit happens in November and people be like, they're falling apart. Remember LeBron went to Cleveland and then he just went to Miami for 2 weeks and was like, I'm just going to chill out down here. And everybody's like, oh my God, LeBron. He basically took 2 weeks off and was like, all right, I'll see how you guys deal without me. And then we'll see if you're winning. Durant's not going to do that, but they're going to be fine come the playoff time. They're definitely going to be in the Western Conference Finals, and we'll see where it goes from there. In the East, everybody thought Boston was going to be the squad. They're 500 right now, but again, they'll pull it together and they'll be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Eastern Conference right now, it's Toronto and Philly. But everybody knows Boston's going to be there at the end. Same in the West. Houston, they'll pull it together at some point. They'll make a run. LeBron will figure it out with the Lakers. They're going to make a run. I think with Utah and Oklahoma City, they're both really good teams, but I don't think anybody's taking them serious as a contender. And then you got Golden State sitting there like, clearly know we're the best team. They're basically they're New England is what Golden State is. You know, they got Brady, you know, as long as they got Kerr and Curry and Green and Clay, they're fine. They're very similar to New England. Every time New England lose early in the year, which they did this year, you know, we knew they were going to go on a run and pull it together. Same with Pittsburgh. Listen to my podcast right before the Bengals played the Steelers. Listen to it. I called this whole goddamn season. I said, I've seen this movie, and I said, we're going to look up, and the Steelers are going to be 6-3-1. They're 7-3-1. I fucking called it. I said, you're going to look up. When they were 1-2-1, I called this shit. I said, you're going to look up, and they're going to be 6-3-1, but now they're 7-3-1. And I called how that game. Here I am back to Cincy. I'm sorry. That game against the Steelers when the Bengals played them and they lost, when Antonio Brown scored that touchdown at the end of the game, turned both seasons around. The Steelers would have been like 3.5 games out of first. The Bengals would have been 5-1 going. I mean, no, yeah, they would have been 5-1 going into Kansas City instead of 4-2. Whole season's different. Everything's different right now. That one game, if you want to look at a pivotal moment for both teams, it's that game. That's Steelers. But look at the Steelers' schedule the rest of it. Look at the Bengals got. Bengals got the Broncos, toss up. Then they at the Chargers, L. That's a loss. Then they got the Raiders, which should be a win. Then you got at the Browns, which I don't think they're going to get swept by the Browns. I think they're going to beat them. Then they end with the Steelers. So right now, I'm looking at the Bengals schedule. They should definitely beat the Raiders. Broncos is a toss-up. Chargers are going to lose. So they're going to definitely lose 7 games. I mean, they could be 9-7. They could be 9-7. Or they could be 9-7. They could be 6-10. I don't know. Everything's basically you always say this next game more than any other game is the season. They lose the Broncos. Guys aren't going to be playing hard anymore. They're not going to be running out tackles or trying to do extra. Yeah. So the whole season is this, and I'll be watching it. I say I won't. Yeah, I will. I'll be right in front of fucking TV watching that shit. And look at the goddamn Steelers schedule. So the Steelers are 7-3-1. But look at this fucking schedule. They got Chargers. Okay, that's probably that could go either way because it's in Pittsburgh. Then they got the Raiders. That's a win. So they're definitely going to get 8 wins. Then look how they end the season versus the Patriots and at New Orleans. To me, that's 2 L's. So that gives them 5 losses. Chargers could be 6. They're definitely going to beat the Raiders. And then they got the Bengals. The thing about the Raiders, though, they always play the Steelers tough. Even when the Raiders suck, they play the Steelers tough. So the Steelers definitely going to have 2 losses. They could have 3 or 4. Definitely going to have 2. I think between the Chargers, the Patriots, and Saints, they're going to lose 2 or 3. They could lose all 3, but definitely losing 2 or 3. So they got the toughest schedule the rest of the way. All right. Enough about sports. Let me just get into close with this. My schedule, which I should open with. This weekend, I'm in San Francisco at Cobb's Comedy Club. And then I did a post when I was in Houston a couple weeks ago. And I had gotten bad news after bad news after bad news. I shot a pilot, which I wasn't allowed to talk about for a long time because they didn't want me to say anything. But I shot a TV pilot, and I really thought it was going to get picked up. It was for a daytime talk show, and it just didn't get picked up. So I get a phone call from my agent, and she goes, didn't get it. I go, okay. Then I get a call from Netflix. Netflix didn't say they didn't want to do my special. They just said they wanted to think about it more. And I was like, damn, literally Netflix has been thinking about it for a year with me. A year. So I was like, I can't keep waiting and waiting and waiting. At some point, I got to make a move and do my next special, either on my own, which I've done the last couple of years, or not. So I get basically the wait and see from Netflix. I get the no from the talk show, And then I get a no for a movie that I thought I had. And I was like, damn. It was like 3 in a row. Bing, bing, bing. I was like, all within like a 24-hour period. So when I got the third call from my agent manager with the no, I was like, Jesus Christ, could this day get any worse? As I say this to my manager goes into damage control. Gary, but look how far you've come, and now you're in the room, and you met with this person. You still got this coming up and this. And I went like on the phone. My manager goes, what'd you just do? Did you just make a noise? I go, I did. I said, listen, I'm not depressed. I'm not one of these guys going to go out and do something crazy, or I'm not about to do drugs or get drunk or anything. I said, but you have to give me a time to be disappointed. Not angry, not mad, nothing like that. But when you get 3 phone calls in a row back to back to back, you just got to give me a day to be disappointed. And then call me in a couple of days and we'll talk about what's next and what we got coming up. But you got to do that. And my manager started laughing. I go, I'm fine, but I'm disappointed. That was 3. It wasn't like 3 things that I did a random cattle call audition for and had no shot. No, I shot the pilot. I thought it was going to get picked up. I felt good about it. Netflix, I thought, they had me waiting, and I taped my set in Cleveland a couple months ago and sent it to them, and they watched it, and I looked at it, and I go, this is good. This is solid. And I get, we're going to wait and see. And then the movie, should I Skype with the director? I thought I had it. Like, I sent on the audition. I knew everybody that was attached to the film. They knew what I'm bringing, and thought I had it, and for whatever reason, just didn't get it. Not bitter, not mad. That's the name of the game. There's parts that I've gotten that somebody else got that same phone call I got, that they probably thought they had it, and then they watched it and goes, goddamn, Gary Owen got that part. So I get it. It's the nature of the beast. But you have to allow people to be disappointed in this business. So then I'm sitting there disappointed. Then I make that post on Friday. On Sunday, I get a call from my manager, my agent, saying, hey, we want you to audition for Undercover Brother 2, which is, anybody saw Undercover Brother with Eddie Griffin and Dave Chappelle? So they said, but they want you to come into LA Monday or Tuesday. I said, I can't make it in that short amount of time. I said, I can send it in. So I put my telephone videotape Sunday night after my show at the Houston Improv a couple weeks ago. Got the call last week. I got the part. So it literally went from disappointed to, oh shit, I got the part. So I leave next week to go start shooting Undercover Brother 2 in Atlanta. That's what I'm saying. This business, man, it comes and goes real fast. I said, give me a day to be disappointed. They sent me an audition, back in the saddle, got the part. I was like, great. And making the announcement on my podcast, December 15th, I'm at the Taft Theater. And I just made the decision, I'm going to film that night, that special. I'm going to make that night, I'm going to film it to be my next special. Now, with that being said, my last 2 specials, one I filmed in Atlanta and the other one I filmed in Birmingham. I filmed them, edited them, did everything right, and then I sold them to Showtime. I'm going to do the same thing in Cincinnati. So I'm going to film it, and then I'm going to shop it to Netflix, Showtime, just everywhere. And I have a good relationship with Showtime, so hopefully they'll buy it. If not, hopefully Netflix comes back and was like, yo, we want to do your next special. And then I just got this special on the shelf. I can put it to the side and sell it to release at a much later date. But I am going to film this next special in Cincinnati, December 15th at the Taft Theater. Tickets are already moving great, even without it being announced as a special. But hopefully this gives it that extra kick and that boost and I'm just going to go old school with this one. I don't want a lot of extra with it. I just want a big curtain behind me. I want a spotlight on me. And I just want to hit them over the head with the jokes. I'm just going to go old school with it. I want it to be a big theater feel, which it is. It's a Taft Theater. But I don't want to do a lot of extras. I just want the special to stand on its own with the jokes. Not going to worry about my outfit. Not going to worry about all this extra shit on the stage. Nah, it's going to be me, a microphone, and that's it. And we're going to just do the special like I've done it the last couple of years. So if you're looking for a comedy special to attend and be in the audience and be on TV eventually, this is the one to go to, December 15th, Taft Theater in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I always say you can always get all my tour schedules at GaryOwen.com. And Let me go over the rest of my schedule. December 20th to the 22nd, I'm at Parter Live in Bellevue, Washington, which is basically Seattle. And then December 28th, I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Pabst Theater. December 29th and 30th, I'm in Chicago, Illinois at the Erie Crown Theater. And then New Year's Eve, I am in Dallas, Texas at the Verizon Theater. It's actually Grand Prairie. And then January 5th, just got booked in Hawaii, Honolulu, a place called the Blue Note. The Blue Note always brings in great comics, but I got 2 shows January 5th in Honolulu, Hawaii. I haven't been to Hawaii in years, so we're going to make a little vacation. We're going to fly out on January 2nd and stay till the 6th, and then and that's where I'm at, January 5th in Hawaii. So I know this was real Cincinnati Bengal heavy. Lots riding on this week. We always say it's a must-win. Now, this is a must-win. More than any other game, this is the must-win for Cincinnati. I don't feel that confident, I'll be honest with you. I hope Driscoll just balls out, becomes like the next goddamn Tom Brady. No offense to Andy Dalton. I love Andy. But, man, that'd be amazing. And then we could all say, Billy Miller did it. Billy Miller is the reason Jeff Driscoll is the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. Do I think it's going to happen? Fuck no. But a man can hope. I hope it turns into like the Mo Lewis. Mo Lewis is the one that knocked Drew Bledsoe out the game when the Jets played New England, and then Tom Brady came in and balled out. Or lesser is Tony Romo got hurt against Seattle in the preseason game. Dak Prescott comes in, balls out, and the rest is history with Dallas. Well, the history is still being written with Dak. It's still up in the air if he's definitely not a bust, but he first year unbelievable, second year average. This year, he goes back and forth, a little good, little bad. Anything else I want to talk about? Nah. Next week we'll have some more shit in the kitchen. This is the in-law suite, so that's what we should call this, cooking in the kitchen. But we're gonna start call it the Get Some Podcast. All right, I'm gonna go outside and enjoy this beautiful weather because I don't need a winter coat. I'm doing good right now. All right, y'all. This is Gary Owen with the Get Some Podcast.
Listen to my podcast. Just go to iTunes, search Gary Owen, #Get Some.